That's all I hear from that member. The Speaker, Madam Speaker, the spending spree just isn't limited to the costly government photo ops that he's talking about. He's been here for 9 years. The Liberal insiders and elites are the ones getting in on the action too. We learned this week that the RCMP raided the home of a guy who grifted $20 million of taxpayers for the Arrive Scam app. The Prime Minister failed to get the money back. This House ordered it. So will someone over there tell their boss to get the cash back?
That's right.
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, as I said yesterday in the House, our government takes the use of taxpayers' money extremely seriously. We welcome investigations. Madam Speaker, that are taking place, including the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, that, as is well known, publicly raided a residence earlier this week. Madam Speaker, we've said anybody who abused taxpayers' money will face the consequences, and of course we will seek to recuperate all money that has been misallocated.
That's right.
Yeah. The Honourable Member for St. Albert Edmonton.
Madam Speaker, this week the RCMP raided the home of the Prime Minister's top Arrive scammer, Kristian Firth. The raid is connected to a proposal that Firth's GC Strategies sent to the Deputy Prime Minister and her former Chief of Staff, Jeremy Broadhurst. So, what communications did the Deputy Prime Minister and her office have with GC Strategies regarding a proposal that has led to an RCMP raid?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, again, just because my colleague on the other side of the aisle repeats something doesn't necessarily attach it to the facts. The facts, Madam Speaker, in this case are well known. The RCMP, the one thing that he said is that's entirely factual, is the RCMP are looking into this matter. And that's why I would urge people to be careful before they invent things and ascribe things to what is an ongoing police investigation. Our government has said that people have a responsibility to be judicious with taxpayers' money, and those that aren't will face the consequences.
Remember St. Albert Edmonton.
Madam Speaker, the two-person basement company GC Strategies received more than $100 million from this NDP government, including $20 million for nothing on Arrive Scam. We know of a link between GC Strategies and the Deputy Prime Minister and her office regarding a proposal that has led to an RCMP raid. So, has the Deputy Prime Minister been contacted by the RCMP, and will she fully cooperate with the police investigation?
Again, Madam Speaker, my friend on the other side simply asserts a series of things that he knows very well are not accurate and attempts to connect the series of dots that simply can't be connected.
Yeah, that's obvious.
He should stick to the basic facts. The RCMP, following information that was given to them by the Border Services Agency, has decided to look into a series of allegations. They obviously take their work very seriously, and we should allow Canada's National Police Force to do their work and not simply make up stuff in the House of Commons beside the work that they're doing.
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Member for Regina, Wascana.
Madam Speaker, after 9 years of this Liberal NDP government, this Prime Minister is just not worth the cost or the corruption. The ArriveCan app was originally supposed to cost $80,000, only to skyrocket to $60 million, triggering an RCMP investigation. The contractor admitted to this House that he does not feel ashamed, and the Liberals have not even asked him to repay the money. Madam Speaker, when will the Prime Minister get Canadians their money back?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Madam Speaker, I had a chance earlier in today's question period to answer that question. I'm happy to do it again. Madam Speaker, our government has worked with the Auditor General's office, with parliamentary committees. There's an internal investigation being conducted by the Border Services Agency. All of these investigations will, unlike some of our friends on the other side, establish the facts of what happened. Anybody who's misused taxpayers' money will be required to repay it, and anybody who has misused taxpayers' money will face the consequences, and that's why we're pleased that the RCMP are looking into this matter.
The Honourable Member for Regina, Wascana.
But, Madam Speaker, this app went live 4 years ago in the early days of the pandemic and has been the subject of questioning and scrutiny ever since. While Canadians were losing their businesses and being told by this Prime Minister that we were all in this together, insiders at GC Strategies were milking taxpayers for millions of dollars. Madam Speaker, when will the Prime Minister get taxpayers their money back on Arrive Scam?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, we have said continually, and we'll say it again, if people have misused taxpayers' money or have misappropriated public funds, of course efforts will be undertaken to recuperate that money. That's what a responsible government does. But a responsible government, Madam Speaker, allows the internal reviews and audits that are underway to determine exactly what money might be subject to the reimbursement and what's the appropriate process to have that money reimbursed. And at the same time, Madam Speaker, the RCMP are also looking into this matter.
Madam Speaker, Canadians are struggling to put food on the table. Meanwhile, this Prime Minister's ArriveCan app has made the GC Strategies owners multimillionaires. Canadians could have gotten some answers about ArriveCan this week, but instead the Prime Minister enforced silence and ignored Canadians' questions. This is $60 million in taxpayer money that went into the pockets of millionaires. Will the PM give Canadians this wasted money back? The Honourable Minister of Transport. No, I'm sorry.
No, l'Honorable Ministre.
No, there's the Minister of Transport over here. I'm not the Minister of Transport. Now, Madam Speaker, thank you. As my colleague knows, it's simply not true that the government wasn't transparent. My colleague keeps saying that, but he knows it's not true. I've been working with parliamentary committees. We've been working with the Auditor General. We completely agree with the idea that all those who inappropriately receive taxpayer money will have to pay it back. And as my colleague knows, the RCMP is investigating this matter. The Honourable Member, Madam Speaker, at a time when Canadians are working so hard without being able to actually get appropriately compensated for their work, consultants involved in the ArriveCan disaster received $60 million. That's taxpayer money. Taxpayer money that was wasted. And they got that money for doing no work. So Canadians have a simple question, and the answer should also be simple. When will the Prime Minister give taxpayers their money back? The Honourable Minister of Public Safety. Madam Speaker, as I said in English a few moments ago, my colleague knows that there's an inquiry happening at the CBSA, an internal inquiry, and it's for that exact purpose, to find out whether money was spent inappropriately. We're going to have to wait to understand what the facts are before asking for money to be paid back. We understand Canadians' concerns about this. We share Canadians' concerns about using taxpayer money appropriately.
Calgary Rocky Ridge.
Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister's Arrive Scam app was supposed to cost $80,000. The Prime Minister chose the app, mandated its use, and along with the NDP voted $60 million to fund it. Shady contractors got rich without doing any IT work, while the app itself failed and erroneously sent tens of thousands of Canadians into quarantine. The RCMP are knocking. The main contractors got $20 million. When will the Prime Minister get Canadians their money back?
L'Honorable Ministre.
Madam Speaker, the same question begets the same answer. We've said from the beginning the government has welcomed the scrutiny of parliamentary committees, worked with the Auditor General, and implemented her recommendations. My colleague, the Minister of Public Services and Procurement, has changed the way that these contracts are awarded and the oversight provisions. We'll continue to do what's necessary to ensure taxpayers' money is well spent, and we'll continue to obviously hold those to account that don't follow the rules.